3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Paul and Chris here, back with our third episode of the Insight Sessions podcast, video cast, whatever we're calling it. Hey Chris, how you doing?
Good, man. We're let's say we're cranking these out. We're cranked out 3. We're on getting them out weekly, as we said. So as we said at the top of the show, if you have or haven't caught the first 2 episodes, we're aiming to do these kind of every Tuesday. So I'll get one of these out a week and make them super high valuable for the people in our extended business community.
Yeah. Last week was certainly an interesting episode for those that may or may not have noticed my abrupt disappearance at the end of the podcast when my wife come running in and she's like, "Hey babe, the dishwasher's on fire." So I don't know whether people noticed that, but anyway, like great editing from Chris there. So
you can always get it in post. So it's a bit of snazzy editing. It's a bit of a weird finish, but hopefully today we'll get a nice crisp run at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of today, today we're talking about how to pick winning products for ecom, for e-commerce businesses, right?
Yep. Yeah. So as I mentioned prior to starting the episode with you as well, obviously we've got the Shopify Australia Facebook community with, I think we're pushing like 9,000, 8,000 members or so in there now. And this topic really came up for me, or comes up for me like every week, every day, I should say. But especially yesterday, I was talking to a guy that's a member in that community, and I've seen him posting for like a year plus. And people are constantly kind of telling him like, dude, you're in the wrong niche. You're in like such a hard industry to actually get any cut through in, get out of it. So for those wondering, he sells adult toys. So, you can't, it's hard to run ads. It's hard to do anything. It's hard to do promotion. He's competing with 8-figure e-com businesses as well. And he's still trying to have a crack. And I was kind of like, dude, just bail out of that industry. Like, unless you've got massively deep pockets, you're never going to beat them. So, which leads me to what I wanted to talk to today, about how to actually pick winning products. Not when I say winning products, I mean products that are profitable for you. They've got longevity. You're still going to be able to sell them in a couple of years. And even if you can't, they're still going to be a good springboard into other products as well. Yeah, right. So for those of you that don't know my backstory, I might talk about it a little bit because it'll give you a really good insight to how picking the right products from the start can actually just set your business on almost like autopilot, so to speak. So when I started Woolcom, we started out selling dial-up modems at the time. So long time ago, obviously. But so we were right at the very start of the internet. So, for the first year, we started selling like 14.4K dial-ups. Then, we saturated that market. 6 months later, we came out, we're selling 28K modems that we're doubly as fast, and that kind of run for like 3 months. And then we came out with 56K modems, and then that went for another 6 months. Then slowly they started rolling out ADSL 1. So ADSL 1 lasted for like 3 years, So it's a growing market. And there's a lot of people entering it. There's a lot of people with a big problem. For us at the time, there was not much competition as well. We were literally buying like all of the ADSL modem 1 modems from all of the vendors in all of Australia. And we were like one of 2 or 3 retail stores online that were actually selling them. And then we continued that on. So then ADSL 2 came out, and then eventually, blah, 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 different 250, 6K, 512K, whatever it was, 1 point, whatever. So it's like the industry was evolving very rapidly. And we were basically constantly playing catch up or staying ahead of it. So, customers were always like, I need the new version of this. I want the latest and the greatest. So it was just a natural progression. So if you can find a business like that, then that's like exceptional. So if you think of things like, again, this is obviously not ecom related, but if you look at like Tesla, they bring out version 1 of the car, then they bring out version 2 that drives faster, then they bring out version 4 that drives faster and it's lighter, then they bring out blah 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 blah, and they bring out a version that's got fucking autopilot and shit. And the version 5 years from now will literally drive you to the airport on autopilot. It'll bloody take you out of that, put you in the rocket fuel, and Elon will send you to the moon, or you know what I mean. So there's all those kind of things. But stripping it back a bit, there's kind of rules that I kind of like to keep, keep front of mind when picking winning ecom products. So it's certainly a product that's going to have customers constantly coming back. So whilst I mentioned the guy with, the adult toys, like, people are going to come back, time and time again until they obviously have kids and have a family and they're less interested in that stuff. But, there's still, it's the kind of product that will evolve and you want to get the latest and greatest. So if we use something like that, or we talk about like maybe if we talk about another tech product, for example. So my kind of rules that you want to pick products where it's not massively saturated and there's not tons and tons of competitors. So you can get around that, for example, by becoming the exclusive distributor, or you can get around that by buying all the stock, or you have some kind of, or you manufacture this product yourself, or you source a product that's so hard to find. Say, for example, you're buying it from, some supplier in Far East Germany or something, and you've got to go and get an English translation version of it and stuff like that. Like those really, really hard to find products are really good to look at. Then other things that I kind of think are really important are you want products that have like minimal or zero warranty. So things like technology products, which I spoke about what I was doing, were great, because if someone bought a modem from me and it had a 3-year warranty, doesn't matter, because they get rid of it in 6 months time because they bought the new version. So, there's a lot of that goes on as well. So other things to keep in mind as well, obviously you want a high margin. You need at least like 30, 40 plus margin, in my opinion, so that you've got room, you're making profit, you can hire staff to run ops and, manage fulfillment and all these kind of things. So like an example, you look at like the guys from Udi, the dressing gown kind of thing, Dave Fogarty and stuff, like those guys, the dude's a genius. He's just crushing it. He's got a product that he's found in China. They get manufactured themselves. It is, it doesn't tick all my boxes in terms that it's a bit of a bulky item to ship. I prefer to ship smaller items that it's going to cost you like under $9 to ship. I don't know how much it costs them to ship. I'm sure they get a great deal. But again, that product, like great margin, they control it. Sure, there's a lot of rip-offs, but they're so cemented their foot in the industry. Like they could crush a competitor so easily. You know what I mean? And then the important bit as well, no warranty. Like worst case, they're like, oh, well, their arm fell off or whatever. Like, all right, send it back. But the chance of that happening is so minimal. It's not an issue for them. So that's certainly ticking a lot of boxes for a lot of people. And you can apply those kind of same rules to other products as well. So I spoke to a lady yesterday. I won't explain exactly what she does because I don't want other people trying to steal her idea. But she sells a body product. It's small. It's cheap to manufacture. She makes a great margin. People try it, they love it, and they just keep coming back because they need this product for hygiene reasons, and they're going to stick around for the next, 10 years. So it might, again, this is another thing to consider as well, is how much it costs to acquire that customer versus the customer lifetime value. So for her, she might be able to acquire a customer for $20, and the first purchase is $20, but they buy from her once a month for the next 10 years, and they tell their 50 friends, and they also buy the product. So the acquisition cost is stupidly low with a massive lifetime value. And again, it ticks the other boxes for me. It's small. If they hate it, they'll just chuck it in the bin. There's no warranty at all. You're not going to send like a $20 bottle of, let's just say it's a bottle of something. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully no one has the time to worry about that kind of stuff. Is this making sense so far with where I'm going?
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And just for the folks at home, you'll see there's a Google Doc up on the screen. I'm just making notes of all this stuff, and we'll drop a link to this Google Drive, this Google Doc, so you can grab this afterwards as well. But yeah, no, that makes, these are all really good points. As I said briefly, I briefly ran and operated an Amazon FBA store, so similar kind of stuff to this, but obviously slightly different picking criteria in Amazon. But yeah, no, it makes sense having something that's got that you can buy, but you can buy cheap, you can acquire a customer for it cheap, and then you can just resell many times, or you can iterate, or so like the idea of you sell the printer and then you sell the cartridges, right? You're essentially a cartridge business If you can sell that thing that somebody wants, and then they need the upgrade all the time, they need the oil in the engine, the cartridge in the printer, the new operating system for the computer, whatever that is, right? I think that those are good points, getting that repeat business through.
Yeah. See, with my walk-on business, like that was every product was a complementary product, basically. So if you come along and you like bought a computer tower, chances are you're like, hey guys, can you chuck in a CD burner? Can you give me a monitor? Can you do whatever? Like we got to the point where we're like had so many complementary products. You could come and buy a modem, you buy a computer, you buy the screen, you would buy the office chair. We were selling monitor riser stands. We were selling CDs. So if you think of like the perfect business model and the perfect, like an ecom business is a lot like an agency. And Chris has like, 20 years of running agencies. Like, and the first thing he'll tell anyone is like, you want recurring business, right? So, if you've got an ecom business and, like what I had, for example, and people buy the computer and stuff, but then every month they're coming back because they want to buy, well, back in the day when you buy CDs so they could burn all their pirated DVDs and stuff, you've got a great business because you've got that recurring income constantly and you're not chasing new work. So once you've acquired that ecom customer, they just keep coming back. So, like I mentioned, so for example, I'll just try and think of a couple of examples off the top of my head, and this one might be a bit out there, but the sex toy guy, right? It might be like stupidly expensive for him to actually acquire those adult toy customers, but he might stick them on a subscription where he's sending a lubricant every month. He'll make more doing that than he will by selling the whatever Chris's favorite toy is from that supplier, for example. You know what I mean? So
the rabbits are popular, aren't they?
The rabbits are popular.
That's a thing.
No idea. So even, we've got customers that are in the, children's, they sell a lot of children's products and stuff, So again, great business model because say, for example, you sell children's toys and we've got a customer that sells like beautiful kids toys. Like I can buy everything for my son now from age like 6 months old right up to like age 4 or 5. So that means that, this customer has acquired me on one product and every month it's like, all right, cool. He's progressed a bit with his learning now. There's something else I need to do, or it's his birthday now, or it's Christmas now, or whatever else it is now. You know what I mean? You've got a lot of ecom people don't think like that. They just like one sale in, one sale out, catch you later, don't care. Again, this is where like the Udi guys kind of crush it because they're like, they'll hit you up on your birthday, they'll hit you up at Christmas, they'll hit you up on Easter, they've constantly got like, hey, we've got a Batman new Udi now, we've got a Pokemon Udi, and kind of hitting different things all the time. I don't know whether they have like a subscription kind of model in their business yet, which surprises me a bit. There would have to be some kind of subscription, or there'd have to be that they would really benefit by having some kind of end of product life kind of upsell opportunity. Like you
send it back, we'll send you another one for 50% off or something, or
exactly.
Like recycling reclamation piece at the end, or
exactly. Like I'm really surprised they haven't done that. So okay,
Udi cleaning service, Udi dry cleaning service.
Yeah, anything could be like that. Like maybe I don't know if you want to give me a couple of examples of ecom businesses where you would kind of put me on the spot and go, what would you do if you were them? I might fail miserably at this, but and this is not rehearsed. But if you could pick an ecom business, and I'll tell you just to reiterate what I would do.
Yeah. So what I mentioned my Amazon store. I had a failed Amazon FBA store. So we were into the mobility market. So our core product was massage balls. So we did those sort of silicon massage balls manufactured out of China, sold up through Amazon FBA. So we did massage balls, the double massage balls, the spiky ones. So that kind of product suite of things. Is that a good example?
It's not a product that I would probably go into because any man and his dog could sell that product. There's no, anyone could go onto Alibaba. Anyone could go onto Alibaba in the afternoon, find 600 suppliers who sell that. Come along to eBay, come along to FBA, come along to Facebook Marketplace, chuck that up and literally sell it as a money laundering business. Do you know what I mean? Where they're just like cleaning their cash, like they have no interest whatsoever in selling that product. So for me, in terms of if is picking a good product, is that a good product? Absolutely not. It needs to be more along the lines of what is unique about that? What is unique about the ability to solve the problem that product solves? Say, for example, just trying to think out loud here, like you're into martial arts and stuff, is there a specific kind of product like that that really benefits people in the martial arts space? Because I would imagine simple things like dudes that like yourself, like we know each other in person and stuff, like you're really lean and you're like is it the consistency of that product and stuff? Is there a better solution for you that doesn't suit the rest of the market? So you literally go, you know what, we're going into this, we're just going to sell it for in this kind of space. And the benefits of that product is that it's targeted for us guys that are lean and super muscly and stuff. Something along those lines is where I would be trying to get into that market, if that makes sense.
So essentially, like most businesses, you're looking to niche down, like really find that niche. So it might be following that train of thought, instead of say having like a generalist martial arts store, maybe I have maybe I have a special glove that's like perfect for jiu-jitsu, and that's all that, or like an Aikido uniform or like an Aikido product. So it's super specific to like grappling or striking or a specific type of martial art, rather than being like a general boxing glove.
Yeah,
it's like a super high performance specialist glove for grappling, jiu-jitsu grappling.
Yeah,
that the sort of thing, because then I can maybe patent that. That's something that only I sell. If it blows up, then I could get influencers and that kind of thing. Is that kind of where you would instead be heading? Like find something who said like solves a unique problem, but then also has that. It's something patentable. It's something super unique and niched.
It's because for me, like any business, and you know this about me more than most, like anyone having worked with me for like a couple of months, is that I want to control what I'm selling and I want to control what I'm delivering. So, for example, what you mentioned is that if there's a specific kind of glove that you can use in jiu-jitsu, then the way I would approach that, I'd go get all of the gloves from Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu and Bob Jones stuff and whatever else, and find the best of them and make a better version, but you become your own manufacturer, you own it, you patent the differences that are in it as well. So, I mean, to do that's not even that complicated. You find what you want, you get it designed, you go to a place like Shenzhen overseas and go, guys, I need this made, or go to other places like Indonesia or, other European countries or something. So you get really, really high quality. Then it becomes your product, it becomes your brand, then you grow that business to whatever length you want to grow it to, and then you flip it and you go sell it to a bloody UFC, whoever, and go, hey guys, look, we'll take $10 million for this brand. You can call it the USA glove, but you'll get way better. You'll get better business growth, because again, it's your brand, it's your idea. You control it. You can also control version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Doesn't let anyone else come in and be like, oh shit, okay, that's a great product. I'm going to get that from the supplier overseas, and I'm going to drop the price by 20% and kill Chris's business. So, that probably that will lead me into, and I'll talk about this because it should give people a good insight. And I know we're probably going over time here, but I hope people are getting value out of it. So, one thing I used to do was I was really good at picking unique products, and one way of picking really unique products was I would use sites like Kickstarter.com. So for those of you don't know what Kickstarter is basically a crowdfunding site where Chris can go in there and he's like, hey, I'm into jiu-jitsu and I want to make this glove, and this is what it's going to look like. It's going to take us like 3 months to make, blah, 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 and then you'd go in there and people would go, shit, that's a great idea. People would put $500,000
give you some funding.
Yeah, he'd get it made, he'd get it funded, blah, blah, blah. I would then contact those people that are crushing it and go, hey, I want to be a distributor in Australia and I want to sell it on my website for the next 2 years. My first order is going to be 20 grand. Are you guys on board with that? You don't have to find any suppliers. I'll take care of it for you. So again, coming back to picking winning ecom products like that, you go to a site like that. You go to a site like Alibaba and you find a supplier on there that's selling shitloads of something to a country, preferably not Australia, if you're in Australia, and going, hey, I want to be the exclusive distributor, retail or whatever, for that product in Australia. And again, you're doing so because you go, they've got traction. It's good. It's a good product. It's a good price. It's a good margin. It's easy to ship. It's got low warranty. It's, ticking all the boxes. So, and you can do the same thing. Jump on, probably not Amazon as much anymore, but certainly like those sites like that and sites internationally as well is a really good starting point. Making sense.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip to look at. Like those, some of those Kickstarter projects, the ones that actually kick off, make a shit ton of money. So find well-funded projects and well-funded products, and maybe they're based in the US or in Canada or Europe, and say, hey, I want to distribute you here in Oz. It's I like that idea.
Yeah, well, I sold there's a company in Australia called Annex Products, and I'll tag them on this video when I put it, because the guy Rob Ward is on LinkedIn, good guy. I haven't spoken to him for years, but like they brought out I believe it was them. They brought out a bottle, an iPhone case that had a bottle opener in it. So I sold tons of them. Then they brought out a mount for your phone for your bike as well, and I sold tons of them. So, and they launched on Kickstarter, for example, things like that, and so much weird stuff. Sorry.
Where else can people find kind of research that kind of thing? There's trying to think of other sites other than, and there's other versions of Kickstarter out there, but Kickstarter's kind of the big boy that gets the serious funding. There's kind of like crowdfunding platforms like On Market, that kind of thing. That could be a place to go.
You just got to dig. If you just backtrack where stuff is getting supplied from. So China, so obviously, so it makes bloody everything. So sites like Alibaba and stuff, you look on there and you just keep digging deeper and deeper until you find, and then you take what they've kind of got and you go, I like that, but I need this stuff changed to make it better, and then you stick your brand on it. So as an example, think about Kogan, right? What does Kogan do? He has 600 people working at Kogan, and their job is literally, and I'm making that number up, but they go to China and they're like, sweet, you sell an oven or you sell a microwave. Can you give us a black version and can you stick your brand name on it? And they chuck it on their website. They do like that. That's probably 30-40% of their business. Like you could just grow a business doing stuff like that, and then you buy an oven, and then you need a dishwasher, and then you need a kitchen sink, and then whatever. It's not the most exciting business, but that's certainly a strategy that they do, and so many people do that. I got a mate that runs a motorcycle accessory business. He buys all the stuff from China, sticks his label on it, sells it into Australia, says it's his product. Instead of they also design some of their own product, but crushes it by doing stuff like that. Again, he's ticking the boxes. Like people want it. It's cheap. It's low margins. If it breaks, he doesn't care. Throw it away. Ships it out easily. Like it's an industry. It's a hobby industry. So motorcycle accessory. This dude spend a mint on their motorbikes. So ticking and just to round out this on, maybe we'll talk about, I don't know whether we need to talk about shitty products, but I spoke to a guy yesterday that wants to sell furniture, and I said, don't do anything until we actually get some strategy around what stuff you actually are going to sell. Don't put 7,000 products on your website. We need to pick 100, and we need to find where we can get cut through, and we need to find spaces within that niche that is actually going to grow as well. So it might be like, I don't know, like bohemian furniture or something like this, and you're just going to own that market. You're not going to go and sell ottomans and rugs and blah blah blah. You need to have very specific stuff. So
so preparing a kind of go-to-market launch strategy first, rather than going on Amazon and doing mobility products, which apparently is a shit idea.
But yeah, well, that's my point though. If you don't, you can have the world's best ecom site and the world's best ad guy and the world's best shipping person, but if you have a shit product, it's going to be hard to sell. You can have on the flip side, all of those things that I mentioned can be fucking terrible, but if you've got an exceptional product, you can sell tons and tons of it. I put a mattress on you know, I put a mattress on Facebook Marketplace yesterday for like $50 for like a double mattress. Like, and I've had like 600 messages going, is it still available? So I'd be like, hey, if I can find mattresses, cheap double mattresses for like $80 and sell them for 120, and I'm selling like 300 a month, like, you know, I found a product, it's in demand, it's going to be, you know, it's not good to ship, but if it breaks, they don't give a shit, they'll go buy a new one. You know, they're going to need a new one every couple of months anyway. So like, there's so many, like that's just one strategy that you can look at doing to test your product out as well. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next video, like how to test what's a good product and stuff. So
yeah, I think that's good. We're sort of running on the sort of 25-minute mark, which was kind of where we want to wrap things up to keep people wrapping up their walks and sort of getting this in one hit. But yeah, I think there's plenty in there. There's sort of 15 top strategies for picking winning products on ecom. As I said, we'll share this Google Doc with you in the show notes and wherever we post this, so you can grab all these strategies and start implementing them in your business. And so let's maybe do a part 2 and look at that that sort of next component as you talked about. But hopefully, I think for me that was super valuable. I wish I'd listened to this about 5 years ago before I started my failed Amazon business. I could have learned something and saved myself some time and money and hassle. But
maybe we'll start another one just as a bit of fun. We'll start selling mattresses on Facebook and see how many we can sell.
Secondhand mattresses.
Secondhand mattresses. Yeah, great. So
unique. It's unique. So,
yeah,
I don't think it hits the criteria, but yeah, no good insights, man. That was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome. All right. We'll wrap it up there. I guess I'll just add one more thing. So we're launching a ecom community. It launches next month. So we're going to basically be teaching everyone how to do this stuff, like even just picking a product and where to sell it and where to source it from, and you know how much you should be charging for it, and managing your fulfillment and stuff. So if you're interested in jumping on board that community, I'm literally trying to have like 10 or 20 people in there come in every couple of weeks, every month or so. I don't want tons of people. I don't have time to help that many people. You know, so if you're interested in something like that, it's not cheap. It's basically $2,500 to join in that, and you get access for 60 days. Then you'll be a guest for the next year. But if you know, it's probably better than spending a year of your life trying to figure this shit out yourself and wasting your time and you know, thousands and thousands of dollars. I'll teach you how to do it in, you know, a month. So if that's of interest, reach out to me, reach out to Chris, and we'll send you some details. So
awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, we'll drop that stuff in the show notes as well, so people can pound those if they're interested and come connect with us. Yeah, thanks. That was awesome, mate. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.